Hello! Today I'm going to do a bit of a different video. I asked a while back in one of my previous videos if anybody would like to see a video on how I fix a record sleeve seam split, and I got a few people saying they'd like to see how I do it, so I thought I would make this video today. The reason why it's taken me so long to do this video is because I've actually been waiting for a record to arrive to me that's actually got a seam split in it, because it's been a while actually since I've had something with a seam split in it. So I eventually got something in the post and it had a seam split in it. I was like, yay, I can actually do this video now. So that was the only time I was happy that something had a seam split in it. So this record isn't the one that has a seam split in it. This one is actually a record that I have already fixed. So this is the inner sleeve to Queen's News of the World, and this actually did have a seam split in it, and I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. So right here, this is where there was a seam split, and previously the record did hang out of that and it doesn't anymore. So you can still see where it was, but the record isn't hanging out of it and making it worse and making it bigger. You can't see any glue on the sleeve or anything like that. It looks very clean. I just put some newspaper down on the surface, and then I use some cotton buds to apply the glue so you can get it more precise. And then the glue that I actually use is this one. It's Bull Glue, all-purpose glue. And this is completely clear. It dries hard, it's more tacky than like really sticky. It has more like of a jelly kind of texture rather than it being really runny and it going everywhere. You can actually control where this goes. So this is the glue that I use, and it's the only glue that I've used for this, and I've never had any problems with it. I don't think I will use any other glue. I have this inner sleeve from the Flash Gordon soundtrack. On the bottom here you can see there is a seam split and the record is hanging out of that slightly. So this is the first one that we are going to fix. First of all, please remember to take the record out. You do not want to ruin this. So you want to take some glue, just squeeze a little bit of this onto the newspaper, and then all I'm going to do is dab a little bit of it onto this cotton pad. I just run this cotton bud across the splits. I don't put it inside the sleeve, I don't put it on the sides of the sleeve, just directly on top of the split, and then run my fingers across it and on the top, so the glue really gets into that split and on top of it and just seals it. And you can see straight away that it's not an open split anymore. But the final step I do is I just take this huge wooden chopping block and I put this somewhere other than right here because I'm still using this area, but I will put the sleeve under this chopping block until the glue is dry. But the weight of the chopping block will keep the split glued together until it's dried, and then it will leave no longer a split. And I will only put the record back inside this when I know the glue is 100% dry, because we ain't wanting glue on our record. This is going to make it look like I pick out really bad Queen records, but this is also Queen Live Killers album, and this one has a slightly different kind of seam split. So this isn't necessarily a seam split, this sleeve has just come unglued from its seam. So I'm just going to take this record out again and use the exact same method just to glue this back down. And also a little disclaimer, this isn't really a tutorial on how to fix seam splits. This is just how I fix them, so if you want to use the same method as I do, go ahead. If you don't, then don't. There's probably going to be somebody out there that doesn't agree with my method or what I do, but this works for me, and if it doesn't work for you, that's alright. So again, I'm just going to take this cotton bud and dip it into the glue and run it along the seam. Just a tiny bit. I use like the least amount of glue I possibly can. I don't want it to squidge out and then like ruin everything, so I just press that down lightly with my fingers, and then again I will put this under that chopping block until it's dried. So the last example of fixing a seam split I'm going to use is this one. It was my most recent record. Actually, this is what made me want to film this video, because I got this and I didn't realise that it was going to have a seam split in it. But not only is the sleeve split here, the inner sleeve looks fine, but this is like the ultimate seam split. So this is going to be a challenge. I've never fixed something this big before, but I'm going to give it a go, because I like to try and salvage something out of my records. So I'm going to use this same exact method to try and fix this huge seam split. I'm going to speed it up a little bit, I think, so you're not watching me glue some paper for about 5 minutes. And I'll come back when it's dried and we'll see how it turned out. This flash inner sleeve was split on the bottom and the record was slightly hanging out, and as you can see now it's not, so it's been a success once again. This one that was split here isn't split anymore, as you can see. So, moment of truth for the mother of all seam splits. This is the one that was completely split, so you could actually open it like a book, and it has been glued completely down the left hand side and the bottom, and there was also a tiny little seam split here. So I'm going to go get the record and see if it has worked. This was my worst seam split ever. Can you even call it a seam split? It was that bad, it was just like completely ruined. Anyway, here we go. This is the record, and we're going to see if it stays put. Well, when you look at that, the record is not even touching out of the bottom. It's not even poking out, and this side is completely closed as well. Like, I'm so impressed. This method, man, you need to use it. So that is a completely previously ruined inner sleeve that wasn't even a sleeve. I couldn't use it as a sleeve, and now it is fully functional and I'm very happy. So that is how I fix the seam splits in my record sleeves and inner sleeves. I hope this helps at least one person. I do really recommend this method. I really hope this was useful and you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye!